Well, I suppose we better talk about that horrific display at Forest as Spurs put in an extremely weak performance away from home. Jamie Carragher rips into Vicario for the first Forest goal, saying that the Spurs keeper is always blaming someone else. And fans across social media call for Frank to be sacked. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, let's get into it. Football.London report that Tottenham's struggles under Thomas Frank continued with a dismal 3-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest, exposing deeper problems in performance, confidence and cohesion. Spurs produced another lifeless display, managing just one shot on target, extending a poor run that has left them with only 22 points from 16 league games, their worst start in 17 years. Repeated player apologies and basic errors have worn thin with fans. Tottenham have 1 point fewer than last season and sit a place lower in the table. While the past 3 matches look to have a corner turned, it appears to have been a mirage, for the trip to Nottingham Forest brought about more turgid, shot-shy Dow displays than we've marked this season. Frank insists that there is no quick fix and argues he needs time, but there is little visible evidence of progress. Compared to Ange Postecoglou's chaotic but entertaining style, Frank's Spurs side have scored fewer goals, conceded more, and looked disorganised and uninspired. Defensive errors, poor passing, lack of intensity and a blunt attack have become hallmarks of the season. Player frustration has begun to surface publicly, particularly from Jed Spence, highlighting potential dressing room unrest, something largely absent under Postecoglou. Frank's tactical decisions and substitutions have also been questioned, especially his reluctance to change in games aggressively when chasing results. Despite acknowledging the poor performance, Frank remained calm and publicly stressed honesty and patience through the fans and amid growing increasingly restless. January's transfer window looms as a decisive moment. Spurs must either fully back Frank or risk repeating the half measures that undermined previous managers. With few elite managerial alternatives currently available, Frank may benefit from the same lack of options that once extended Postecoglou's tenure. However, with Spurs drifting, creativity drying up and big decisions approaching, doubts remain over whether Frank has both the authority and solutions needed to turn Tottenham's season around. The Mail report that Jamie Carragher ripped into Tottenham keeper Guillermo Vicario after they were hammered 3-0 by Nottingham Forest on Sunday. It was another dismal day for Thomas Frank's side to ramp up the pressure on the Dane following a poor performance at the City Ground. And speaking on Sky Sports Extra Time show, Carragher was not impressed with Vicario in multiple ways. It's not just a keeper playing out, he began. It's a keeper on his weak foot, typical Vicario. He's always blaming someone else. Every time I see a goal go in, he throws his arms at someone else. He seems to do it a lot, and he did it again today. We can talk about young Archie Gray in midfield, but I'm putting this on the goalkeeper. Archie Gray, yes, could do a lot better. Of course he could. But what the lad does initially is he's trying to help someone who doesn't actually need help. The goalkeeper doesn't actually need any help because the ball should go out wide to his player. I don't know what the problem is. There is no real pressure on it. Vicario has come under fire, of course, this season after being guilty of a few errors, and he was even booed by Tottenham Hotspur supporters last month following a mistake he made in their defeat by Fulham. However, the Italian is actually outperforming his expected goals against by 2.3, which suggests that Frank's side could be worse off without him. Nevertheless, Carragher continued to lambast Vicario's decision-making on Sunday. He continued, but what Vicario does, instead of passing with his right foot to Van der Ven on his left foot, he then takes the ball on his left foot and tries to play a little dinky pass here. The point I'm trying to make about being on your weak foot as a goalkeeper is there's a reason you're in goal. For one, you are probably not going to be amazing with your feet, but you are on your weak foot and are trying to be intricate and trying to pass it to a certain player's foot. Archie Gray can play with both feet, but he's predominantly right-footed and he plays it to his left foot. Could his, Gray's, control be slightly better? Of course it could. But for me, that is on the goalkeeper. It's a horrible ball to deal with. Credit for the pressing. You think of Sean Dyche, you think of Nottingham Forest getting after the opposition players, and they do really well. But talking about the left foot pass, it's not a great pass. It's a bobbled in because it's on his weak foot. So that bobbling, bouncing pass onto Gray on his weak foot as well. Yes, control should be a little bit tighter. But even if his control was right, Sangare would still be on top of him. I'm laying all the blame on the goalkeeper. I am. The defeat left Spurs in 11th place, and they now have won just one of their last 7 Premier League games. The Express report that Tottenham Hotspur supporters have flooded social media calling for Thomas Frank's dismissal following their Premier League loss to Nottingham Forest. Relations between Frank and the fan base since his appointment in the summer have become increasingly strained. He publicly criticised supporters for jeering goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario following his error in the defeat against Fulham last month. With anger mounting, several supporters vented their displeasure towards the manager on X. One posted, "I'm done with Thomas Frank football now. Sack him tonight." Sack Thomas Frank, I'm not joking. Sack that coward now, a second posted. A third posted, "Playing how Thomas Frank wants us to play. He's only ever going to be mid-table at best. He has to go." Another supporter said, "I'm not one for keeping changing the manager, but I feel that after today, Thomas Frank is out of his depth here. I can't understand his tactics. I don't understand his substitutions. I can't see how it's not getting more out of this squad. He lost me today, Frank out." However, it wasn't just the fans who were concerned by Tottenham's performance against Forest. Sky Sports pundit Andy Reid was damning in his verdict, saying it was a very worrying performance from Spurs. There were just starting to be some signs of a recovery, with Thomas Frank looking like he was starting to impress himself on the club and this team. But they have turned in a performance like this today where they haven't got going and not shown any desire. The body language didn't look good at all. Nottingham Forest have ran over the top of them and they played better than them in every area of the game. Man for man, they were fitter and they have been better all over the pitch. Spurs got what they deserved from the game, which was nothing. Despite the pressure mounting on Frank, there doesn't appear to be any immediate threat to his position, though. Earlier this month, the manager expressed his confidence that he would be given a time by the club's hierarchy. I'm very confident. I think the ownership, of course, I'm just starting to get to know them, but it seems like they're good guys, intelligent people, he said. They know how to run a business and learning about football, learning more now they've become the owners. I think when we're dealing with intelligent people, they can see every successful dynasty, every successful club has taken time. Yeah, you have one where you maybe win 1 year or the second year, but you can't sustain it if you don't build something sustainable. It's impossible. Okay, well, here's my thoughts on all those stories today, and particularly the performance yesterday against Forest. It just wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. Was hoping that we'd turned a corner. The last few games, obviously the draw at Newcastle, then 2 wins. Thought we may well have turned the corner, but yesterday just reverted to type. And I think that was probably the worst performance of the season. And there's been a few. Let's be honest, there has been a few. The pressing was kind of gone. What they did try to do pressing-wise just didn't work. The passing was just abysmal yesterday, to a man all over the pitch. The players just looked lost again yesterday. Forest won every first ball, every second ball, almost every header. The players looked hungrier. That, for me, says the most. The players looked hungrier. Forest wanted it more. How many times, anybody out there who's played football, you say they just wanted it more. And that was Nottingham Forest yesterday. They wanted that win. Yes, you could say Spurs certainly gifted them the first goal mistake, whether you're blaming Vicario or Gray or both. Probably a bit of both for me. Gifted them that goal. The second goal, you could say, was a bit lucky. It was just a cross, but to be honest, I think it was Morgan Gibbs-White at the far post. was there just to nod it in anyway. Had it been a bit further out. Third goal, fantastic strike, but again comes from not shutting players down on the edge of the box, which has happened time and time and time again this season. I mean, how many long-range goals have we conceded? Just the whole performance was abysmal, absolutely abysmal, and I personally didn't get Frank's substitutions yesterday. You're 2-0 down and you're bringing on Ben Davies at left back and taking off Jed Spence. Much has been made of Jed's reaction yesterday, but to be honest, I don't blame him for that. That was a really weird one. And I like Ben Davies, but time and a place, I don't get what you get from bringing on Ben Davies in that sort of situation. Yeah, tough times for Tottenham at the moment, tough times for Thomas Frank. Carragher, talking about Vicario, I touched on it there. I would personally blame Vicario more than Archie Gray. Archie Gray was definitely calling for the ball. He's doing what's probably been asked of him, picking it up, coming short, picking it up. We saw that under Postecoglou last season. But he was on his wrong foot, and the general idea is to play it off straight away without even looking. You know where the right back is or the left back, whatever side you're going. But he was right behind him. The guy who eventually tackled Gray was right behind him. So it was a dangerous pass. Archie Gray might not have seen this. Archie Gray was doing his job, but Vicario can see it. He can see the whole pitch in front of him, and he should have took the decision away from Archie Gray and said, right, I'm either going to Van de Ven on my left or going long. Van de Ven was definitely the easier pass. He had the option to go long as well. So if there's any danger like that, just get rid of it. And it was an unforced error, if you like. We gifted him the goal. So that one's a bit more on Vicario than Gray for me. And finally, the fans calling for Frank's head. I totally get it. I do. How much longer are the fans going to give Thomas Frank, and how much more patience are the fans going to have? It seems like a lot of the fan base has turned now. Very angry yesterday. Apparently the way end yesterday was incredibly frustrated, going all that way to Forest. Yes, it's not as far as Newcastle, but it's still, Sunday afternoon away to Nottingham Forest. Long old journey, and you get one shot on target again. And I totally get it. The away fans are fantastic. The club tried to do the right thing, putting scarves on every seat, which is good to see. But when you're dished that up, that's not good. That's not good. That was a horrific watch again. And there's just been far too many of those this season. And I do wonder whether the players are buying into it. Some of the body language was very worrying for me yesterday. But get down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on yesterday's game. What are your views on Thomas Frank at the moment? And what should the club do? Should they get rid of Thomas Frank and bring somebody in and start again? Or should they give him time? Get down in the comments and let me know. I do worry that it's going to be a miserable Christmas for Spurs. Obviously, Liverpool up next. That's not going to be an easy game. Love to beat Liverpool at the home stadium, of course, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. And if we go behind, I do wonder if that stadium will turn again. Let's hope not. Let's hope for an early Christmas present from Spurs against Liverpool. But give me your thoughts on the Liverpool game. How do you see that one going? Yeah, dark days for Spurs, but we move on. Let's hope for a victory against Liverpool. Got a week to prepare, so let's go for it, Spurs. Please give us an early Christmas present. Anyway, as I say, get down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on any of the stories today, how you're feeling right now as a Tottenham Hotspur fan. And as always, come on you Spurs.